Good evening, hello, good morning, good afternoon to all my friends that are listening to this Midnight Madness edition of Official Rules, a Sweepstakes podcast. I am your host, Jay Victor, recording this episode at almost midnight, but not quite, about quarter of, on February 7th. It is a chilly New England evening. Why am I recording so late? Well, I've been batting around this idea for about an hour or so because I'm tired, I'm hurt physically, my mind is drained. I was at my son's basketball practice. His coach usually asks me to scrimmage with the boys. I dove for a ball, and this 40-plus-year-old body should not be landing on a basketball court, especially on your hip. But I'm okay. The weather is not so great here in New England, but in lieu of going to bed, because I just couldn't shake this, because it's been an insane week and an insane start to the 2025 sweeping year. So I just had to jump on the mic here, make sure I had everything in good order, and why not, I picked out a brand new top 5. But before we get to any of that, the phone lines, as always, are open. Sweepstakes podcast at gmail.com. Certainly if you have any thoughts, any suggestions, or if I ask a question and you want to provide an answer, because, like I said, there's been not only a ton of good stuff to start off this year, but this has been probably the craziest week in my, do I call it sweeping career? It's not really a career. I don't do it as a job. Let's just say hobby, whatever. Anyway, before we get into the top 5, why am I recording so late? Why did I want to jump on this microphone? Well, as I mentioned a couple podcasts ago, I started off this year with my biggest win of all time, a gaming prize pack from Lunchables with a retail value of $4,000, which I was super excited to win. I'm super grateful for the win. And there's going to be more on that later as a follow-up to the same contest, which is still running. So you figure you win that big prize, you set a new personal best, and it's going to be a while before you hit another one that can match it or beat it by a little bit or a lot of it. Well, it took approximately, 3 weeks since winning that one. But there's good news, some bad news, some sad news, some decent news, and some good news again. So as I mentioned before, and I'm going to open the email here and just so I can read it. So you know what I'm reading through when I get this information. So I am at my aunt's house earlier this week. My mom is visiting from South Carolina. I brought her over to my aunt's house so they could spend some time together and chit-chat. And I'm just kind of on my phone looking at emails, and what do I see but an email titled Bud Light Easy to Score a Seat Sweepstakes, which I know that sweep well. It was saved in my dailies, and I open it up, and it's from AB Sweepstakes at Anheuser-Busch.com, so looks completely legit, totally legit. Says, hi there, congratulations. Bud Light has chosen you as a potential winner to score a seat at Super Bowl 59. As part of Bud Light's easy to score a seat sweepstakes, please see prize details below. I'm having an internal freak out when I'm starting to read this, but keeping it together because obviously for any football fan, this is a bucket list item. And I read the first part, 2 tickets to Super Bowl 59 and 2 tickets to Bud Light's Super Bowl backyard concert with Post Malone and double occupancy hotel accommodations for 4 consecutive nights. So I'm in La La Land at this point. Haven't looked at the ARV, just kind of don't really shut down the email, but call my cousin right away who's never been to a football game. And we've literally talked over the last couple of months. How awesome would it be if your first football game in person was the Super Bowl? So I give him a call after I screenshotted the email and didn't get a response from him, and he picks up. And I said, well, dude, are we going? And he's like, well, what do you mean? Told him, hey, we're off to the Super Bowl, man. I did it. I finally won one. And he's like, holy cow, I thought you were showing me a email that someone in one of your sweepstakes group won. I said, nope, yours truly. And he's asking all the proper questions. I said, yeah, it's in New Orleans. We got tickets to the Post Malone concert. The dates are February 6th or February 10th. He runs his own plumbing business. So I'm like, make sure your partner knows, your guys know, maybe we can, you can meet me down a little bit later. You could skip the concert. I'll go to the concert, but we'll go to the Super Bowl. And he says, yeah, I'll give you a call later. And then I open back the email. And silly me, you should probably read the entire email. Travel and expenses. You will be responsible for all travel, transportation, meals, personal purchases, and all other expenses. So I replied. I sent them the information, name, mailing address, date of birth, and then followed up with a quick email after because I went online and even the small airlines, the Breeze, the Avelos, the Southwest, to fly from Connecticut to New Orleans on short notice during what would be considered Super Bowl weekend, which, as of this recording, we're on the 7th. I should have left yesterday in the terrible weather. It would have cost us $1,300 to $1,500 a piece, late notice, and in the end, my cousin wasn't so sure that he could take all that time off. So, as a last-ditch effort, I did ask the fine folks at Anheuser-Busch if they would be able to do a substitute prize or some kind of cash equivalent, because I let them know, hey, honestly, the flights for the Super Bowl, and this is just math at this point, you're looking at $1,300 to $1,500 a person. Let's assume my cousin pays his own way, and I spend $1,300. I'm also going to get hit with an additional approximately $3,000 on the retail value when they 1099 Army. So this year, the Chiefs and the Eagles are playing in the Super Bowl, not my Las Vegas Raiders, which, God willing, in my lifetime, they will eventually make it back to the Super Bowl, which they have not in the last 20 years. But just looking at the math of it, and this is why I mentioned the email early on, have you ever declined a prize that just didn't make sense mathematically? Now, I get it. You can, on your taxes, use a fair market value. I'm not sure how they would look at that for Super Bowl tickets, but let's assume I can get away with, paying $2,000 on my taxes next year, plus the $1,300 to get there. I really didn't see, $3,300 or $4,000 out of pocket, even though it's the Super Bowl. I couldn't see doing it. And shame on me, obviously, for not reading the quote-unquote official rules to see that there was no travel included, which is a huge, huge part of this kind of prize. Now, if they had included the plane tickets and I was just on the hook for the taxes, would I have gone? I would probably be doing this podcast from a hotel room in Louisiana at this point and sharing my excitement of being able to see the Super Bowl. But as I mentioned in one of the posts that I put on one of our private sweepstakes groups, this stuff comes and goes, and this is the sweepstakes life. Sometimes plans get in the way, money gets in the way. Sometimes the money doesn't make sense if you have to put X amount of dollars out of pocket. Now, does this count as a win for me because I didn't collect on it? That's another question. If you're listening and if you keep track of your sweepstakes on these fine spreadsheets that are provided by many different outlets out there, do you still consider this a win if you're not collecting it? Do you mark it down as, hey, I won tickets to the Super Bowl, but I couldn't go, so you didn't collect, but you also didn't get taxed, but then you didn't go, but they said you were a winner? How does that work in your eyes? sweepstakespodcast@gmail.com for your thoughts on this subject. So, as much of a downer as this was, I didn't really let it get to me. This is like our Hamilton Beach issue from a few months ago where they basically told everybody they won, and then they had to tell everybody, no, you did not win. I had to take it upon myself to say, hey, Jeff, maybe next time, or better luck next time, maybe you could win a trip that actually includes airfare for two. But I will say I got over it real quick. And again, believe me, if it was the Raiders in the Super Bowl, I would have taken a Greyhound bus for $130, and I would have had to take probably 8 days off to account for travel back and forth and everything, but I would have found a way there. But better luck next time to me. So that's how the week started off. And it was obviously not so great. That was on February the 3rd, which was Monday. So a little bummed out. So what happens 2 days later on February 5th? Well, I'm just hanging out, checking my emails. Already have done my sweepstakes. And I see that I get an email. Potential iHeartMedia contest winner, Bud Light prize pack. Well, I just lost Super Bowl tickets from Bud Light. So did they change their mind? No, they did not. So this goes to show you your local sweepstakes are usually your best chance. I had totally forgot that I had entered a contest with our local WUCS HD1 97.9 ESPN for a Bud Light prize pack. And I'm sharing this because I actually picked up this wonderful prize pack today. And thank you for all the folks at 10 Columbus Boulevard in Hartford, Connecticut at the iHeart studios. They were very nice, took my information, got everything together quickly, took a little picture of me in the lobby, and I proceeded to load up all of my stuff in my truck and take off. And it was a great prize considering I had just lost or declined the biggest sweepstakes of my life. So they included total prize value on this one, $965. So it was a taxable event, but I got a great 10 by 10 Bud Light canopy tent. So the ones that you see at concerts and stuff, just the 10 by 10 with the Bud Light logoing. And then 4 of those kind of collapsible chairs that you would take to like a kid's soccer game where they just collapse on themselves and they're really skinny. They're all logoed with Bud Light, which was really cool. A very heavy duty, very thicker than I've ever seen custom cooler that comes with these really nice handles. It reminds me of those RTIC coolers with the rubber straps up front, and then it comes with a nice bottle opener on the side. Also heavily decked out in Bud Light. But the big prize that I was really interested in was the 22-inch Blackstone Omnivore griddle, and it's a tabletop version. So it's not the giant one that you plug into your huge propane tank. It does take the mini green propane tanks on the side, but it's a nice little 22-inch griddle, which will go nice with my 15-year-old Weber charcoal grill. We'll make use of it one way or another, but it would be a nice companion to be able to grill vegetables and do, maybe smash burgers as opposed to doing like regular burgers or steaks on the grill. So super excited for that. And once again, thank you to all our friends at iHeartRadio and WUCS FM in Hartford. Very kind of, how do we say, serendipitous that I lose out on the Bud Light tickets to the Super Bowl, and they wouldn't give me a substitution. And then Bud Light comes through with a prize pack 2 days later. So very exciting and very weird how things happen. So I was busy entering a lot of stuff onto my spreadsheet. For the sake of documentation, I did include the Super Bowl 59 tickets on there, but under the column where you would mark whether they were received or not, I put in bold letters declined, because I do want to have that retail value on there, more or less just for record keeping purposes, but also good stories to tell friends and to tell people who are interested in doing sweepstakes for the future that I guess you can say be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. So the double whammy through Bud Light, it was a very interesting week. And I had mentioned to start off with that it would have tripled, it did triple, the retail value of my gaming prize pack that I won from Lunchables for purchasing Lunchables and sending in a receipt for said Lunchables. Well, the week after I won the gaming prize pack, I bought 12 more Lunchables and sent in a receipt. And when I won the big prize pack, I heard back right away. And it's been 2 weeks since I sent in the second receipt, and I didn't hear anything. So I said, well, fair enough. You can't bully your way into winning all these sweepstakes. And, I just got really lucky winning that gaming prize pack. I originally thought, well, someone's asleep at the wheel. No one's sending in receipts, blah, blah, blah. Well, wouldn't you know who won the pony this afternoon? I get 2 identical emails that look identical to the first email from when I won the huge prize pack, and it's from Kraft Heinz via Top Box Marketing. They are from the same address. They have the same intro. Thanks again for participating in the $1 million Gaming Super Sweeps. We are happy to award you the following gift card. Well, the links are two different links on both emails. So, long story short, I did not continue to win more $4,000 gaming prize packs, but I did verify win and download certificates for two, not one, two $100 PlayStation Store gift cards that when my son came home from school today, absolutely flipped out when I told him. And, he's a 10-year-old boy, but he knows that Dad does sweepstakes and what sweepstakes are. And suffice it to say, he was incredibly excited. So he'll be able to buy some games or get some V-Bucks for Fortnite. And he's absolutely thrilled. And he lit up when I told him. So with the bad, in many cases, comes the good. So I have to decline Super Bowl tickets, and then I win $965 worth of Bud Light stuff, $200 worth of PlayStation gift cards. And to top it off, this being honestly, the biggest week I've ever had in sweeping, the OPI Rapid Dry and Wingstop collab, which I know many of you who listen to this podcast probably won. 2 bottles of nail polish that I gave my wife, and she was like, you know what? Finally something for me. A sand timer, as well as a $15 Wingstop gift card. So, busy week. The obviously most I've ever won and lost within 1 week. And it was a heck of a week for sweeping. And considering we are, 1 week into February in 2025, this year's starting off great for me for sweeping. And I hope it starts off great for you. And if it hasn't, keep trying. Keep putting your entries in, and you never know. Just stay positive, and good things will come to you. And all that being said, it wouldn't be great to talk about wanting to win something if we didn't present other ways to win, like a brand new top 5 from Official Rules, a sweepstakes podcast. And they got a lot of them out there today, let me tell you. So, starting off, we'll go with number 5, Jack Link's 40th anniversary sweepstakes. Now, this is social media on Facebook or Instagram. It's a single entry. You basically got to tag someone, follow them, like the post. It runs from February 4th through February 11th, so you have a little bit more time to enter. But 2 winners are going to get 16 bags each of Jack Link's beef jerky, which I don't know if you're a fan of beef jerky, but the guy talking on this podcast definitely is. That's why I chose it for this week's top 5. They're also giving out some gear, so there'll be a t-shirt included in there. But 2 winners for Jack Link's. There's other high dollar sweeps out there, but to be honest, I like Jack Link's and beef jerky so much, I had to put it in this week's top 5. So that is number 5 on this week's top 5. Coming in at number 4, the ViStar Savings Challenge sweepstakes. This is another good one. 10 grand prize winners will receive $1,000 cash each. It's open to all of our friends in the 50 United States, including DC, that are ages 18 and older. It is a one and done, and it is running February 1st through April 30th. So make sure you get your entries in. Just as a heads up, the Jack Link Sweepstakes that I did not mention, open to all of our friends in the 50 United States, including DC, ages 18 and older, for those dates between February 4th and February 11th. Single entry on both social medias. Number 3 is an interesting one, and I've downloaded the app. I don't want to spend too much time during this year's Super Bowl on my phone. I'd like to spend it with friends and actually watching the game. So I may do a little something, but I don't know if I will be necessarily tied to this app for the, let's say, entirety of the game. This is the Perplexity $1 Million Question Sweepstakes. So I downloaded this app. Looks like an AI app, a type of chat GPT, ask me anything, kind of magic 8-ball thing. So I did download it just in case, but to enter, they say it starts at the beginning of the Super Bowl on February 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern. They ask you to download the app and open it during the game. They mention if you're going to earn additional entries to ask questions in the app or refer friends to download the app. So just going by the sweepstakes rules, it looks like, they're going to have one grand prize winner, and they're throwing the boat at you. It's going to be $1 million in cash. Starts and ends on Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th. So make sure you download that app ahead of time, just so there's no app store issues on the day of the Super Bowl. Open to all of our friends in the 50 United States, including DC, who are ages 18 and older. That is a biggie. So we'll see. Good luck to everybody who enters in that one. Number 2 on this week's top 5 is going to be the Russell Stover Tackle Valentine's Day Sweepstakes. This one includes a trip for 2 to Santa Clara, California. This one does include airfare, what do you know, 2-night hotel stay, and $28,925 that can be used to purchase Super Bowl tickets or otherwise. So if you want, you could use that cash to buy Super Bowl tickets. If it's me, maybe I'm pocketing the money. Who knows? They will also have 50 first prizes, a game day prize pack that consists of a $200 NFL Shop.com gift card and Russell Stover merchandise and product. Retail value on those prize packs, $250. Retail value for the Super Bowl prize, $36,025. It's a one and done. It runs from February 5th through February 28th. So nice short window. And they're obviously assuming you're not going to the Super Bowl this year because the trip to Santa Clara, California, the Super Bowl next year will be in California for Super Bowl 60. It is open to legal residents of the contiguous United States. Unfortunately, it is void for our friends in Florida, New York, and Rhode Island. DC is eligible. You have to be age 18 or older to enter in that one. So good luck to everybody who entered in that sweep. And then actually kind of a big deal at number 1 for an app that my wife uses and got me to look at because of the sweepstakes that they're going to have during the last 2 minutes of the Super Bowl. It's going to be Fetch the Big Rewards Sweepstakes on the Fetch app. So another app download, another start and end date on Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th. technically a one and done. They're going to have 120 grand prize winners of $10,000 each. So, unlike Perplexity, where one person gets $1 million, they're going to split it up between 120 people, give everybody 10 grand. And this is a total retail value of $1.2 million. So, if there was going to be a sweep that you're going to do during the Super Bowl, folks, this is going to be the one. You want to download that Fetch app before the Super Bowl on February 9th, per their rules. You want to stay tuned for the ad, which is going to be after the 2-minute warning in the game. So the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter. So last quarter of the game, once it starts getting close to 2 minutes, even if it gets close to 5 minutes, get that, app ready. You, starting right after the final 2-minute warning of the football game, just open the Fetch app to enter the sweepstakes, and they're going to announce it following the Super Bowl. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, get that app. You're talking about 120 people winning $10,000. If you haven't won a prize of this size ever before, you want to get on this one, because you're probably not going to run into a sweep that is anywhere close to these kind of good odds for the amount of money that they're giving away. 120 people winning 10 grand. This is might be one of the best sweepstakes of the year, just based on simplicity. Once the 2-minute warning hits, just open the app. I'm wondering if the app is going to crash, so we'll see if it can handle it. But it's going to be a good one, and we'll figure it out. But that is this week's brand new Top 5 on Official Rules, a Sweepstakes podcast. I went a little bit over my typical half-hour time, but as you could tell from my yapping today, there was a lot to talk about, from heartache to redemption to good news all around. And like I said, keep that positive mindset. If you haven't won something lately, or you're new to the hobby and haven't won anything at all, keep cranking on those dailies, download those apps, watch the Super Bowl, enjoy it, have fun, and thanks for listening. I'm Jay Victor. This has been Official Rules, a Sweepstakes podcast. Have a great day.
This has been a father and son production.